stay in your lane. Yeah, we get a little homie, you been getting some brain. Rapping about how you smoking weed like a chain, but I gotta be the one to throw the industry shade. Told you I've been fed up, get your bread up, you don't drop shit. Dropping so much fire, 2018, it's obnoxious. Put me on the 16, watch the numbers rise, just went from the bubble to the top.
You are now tuned into the Dads Who Live podcast. You have your host, Tyler Gaeta, and we have co-host and podcast manager,
Joshua Orsman.
So today we're going to do a little bit different style of podcast. Josh has 3 questions that he's come up with. I have not read or heard these questions. I don't know what they are or what they pertain to, and I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability. If you guys could, please give us a like, share, 5-star review. If you got any value out of this, if we change your perspective, if you found it interesting, if it was helpful for you, please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We don't want to run any ads. We want to grow this thing organically, and that's how it happens. You tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing organically, and we just want to help people. That's all we're trying to do. Add value. We have a badass new apparel line coming out for Dads Who Lift that's going to be dropping February 1st. And definitely be on the lookout for that. You can catch our apparel that we have now. We have hats, shirts, shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of stuff on www.dadswholiftofficial.com. We are also on IG as Dads Who Lift Apparel. We are on Facebook as Dads Who Lift Podcast, and we have a group on Facebook called Dads Who Lift Official that is a Facebook group that has 53,000 like-minded dads trying to be their best selves and stay fit at the same time. If that's something that interests you, go give that group a follow or join that group. So with that being said, I will turn this over to Josh, and he can get going on these questions. We'll see how I do. Also, guys, I've got a little bit of a cold here, so I'm not feeling the best. But I told you guys I'm gonna put out a podcast every week unless I'm fucking deathly ill and in the hospital. So that's what I'm doing. So just bear with me a little bit here. I'm gonna do the best that I can throughout this thing.
And that'll tune into one of the questions today, actually. But that'll be a little bit later down the line. So let's start off with the first question. What is the biggest accomplishment so far for you this year? And can you tell us a little bit about how you did it?
Ooh, this year's not, we're only, 13 days into this year?
I told you these were not going to be easy.
Right. So being a good father is always going to be my best accomplishment. It's always going to be my greatest accomplishment. And trying to be a better father every day is always going to be my greatest accomplishment. So to me, there's a couple facets to that question. I'm always every day trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. And I'm always trying to be the best father that I can be. And my son is an 11-year-old boy, and 11-year-old boys aren't always the easiest to deal with. He's getting into his own personality, his own man. He's growing into his own man. He's growing into his own boy. You know, he wants things done his way. He's got ideas about how things should go now. And I'm a very headstrong male, alpha male. And a lot of times we can butt heads on certain things. So always trying to stay cognizant of his feelings and how what I do affects him. Everything that I do affects him. Prime example, yesterday I picked him up from school. He has extra learning that he does to get caught up in reading after school Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So he's not home until about 6 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from school. And by then, right now in the wintertime, it's dark and he can't ride his dirt bike. So the only day that he gets to ride his dirt bike after school where it's light out is Wednesdays, because he doesn't have the learning center after school. And yesterday I had this deal where we had a photo shoot going on for the apparel line, and I had to make a call whether I was going to let him go home after school and ride his dirt bike, or I was going to go finish my photo shoot, which is what I really needed to do to move myself forward and be productive for work and my goals, and not only like monetary, but my goals for what I want for our family and what I'm trying to build for our family and get things off the ground. So ultimately I made the decision to go finish the photo shoot. I brought him with me, which I also thought that it'd be a kind of a cool thing for him to see and learn at a young age, and he'd be interested in, which he was when he got down there. But on the way down there, he was not a happy kid. And when we got home and it was dark out, he was not a happy kid. He didn't get to ride his dirt bike. And so that was a tough call for me. And I ended up having to have a talk with him about how, he's always going to be number one. He's always going to be important. But him riding his dirt bike and that time frame was not a priority over what I had to do during the workday still to push me forward towards our goals so that I can provide for our family the way that I want to provide for our whole family, which affects him as well. And it's an uncomfortable conversation. It's hard for an 11-year-old to understand that stuff. And, the deal is it's wintertime here. We don't usually ride the dirt bike in the wintertime anyways. It's an unusual winter. So yesterday it was in the 50s. Today it's going to be 50 again. And then tomorrow we're getting 6 inches of snow, So, but with that, he was able to understand, like, hey, this is not something we normally do. We usually don't ride your dirt bike in the winter anyways. And there will be many times where you can ride your dirt bike. You can ride your dirt bike all weekend. We take many trips together going four-wheeling and dirt biking. We have a cabin that we go to almost every weekend in the summertime, dirt biking and all that stuff. So I was able to talk him down and get him to understand that. But those are things that I struggle with my balance between work and being a father every day. And so the biggest facet to that question is just trying to be a better father every single day that I can be. But the biggest thing that I changed with myself personally, which is the other facet of this question, which I kind of got into when I was talking about what I'm balancing out. But the biggest thing that I changed within myself personally is that I am doing shit. I don't know how else to say it. I'm on my shit. I have no compromise on my goals, no compromise on the things that I need to get done throughout a day, no compromise on wasting a day. There will be no compromise at all to me being productive. I will not be putting anything off. Everything gets done. Every single day, I'm doing things that are going to push me forward towards my goals, no matter what. I don't care if it's Saturday. I don't care if it's Sunday. I don't care if I'm on vacation. Every fucking day will be used in 2022 to push me forward towards my goals, my fitness goals, my work goals, my monetary goals, my business ventures that I'm trying to get up and running and off the ground, my personal goals like reading, my personal growth. All that shit will be done every single day. And I've always ran hard, man. And I'm a successful guy. I've always ran hard. I've always done my stuff. But the last few years, there's definitely been, and trying to find that balance, there's definitely been areas of my life or days where I've left shit on the table. And I know I've left shit on the table. And looking from the outside in, I'm still a very successful guy and I've still done very well. And I'm very fortunate and grateful to be in this position that I'm in. But I know for me personally, I've had more to offer. And I think that's the biggest change for this year is my whole goal for 2022. And it's not a fucking New Year's resolution. It's a lifestyle, is to no longer leave shit on the table. I don't want to leave anything on the table. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to make time for my son. I know that I'm putting these two together and just said that I didn't let my kid ride his dirt bike yesterday. Like, that doesn't mean that my family is not a priority. And that does not mean that he's going to get the shit end of everything all the time. That just means that I have to be that much better at my balance and my work life, home life relationship. That means that I've got to be cognizant of, hey, I have to get these things done today, work-wise or business-wise or personal growth-wise or fitness-wise, to move me forward, to move that needle a little bit more forward today. So how do I manage my time to get that shit done? Because it has to get done. No compromise. That's my whole mindset in 2022. No compromise. That shit is getting done no matter what. So how do I get that done and still balance out to where I have time with my son and he feels loved and taken care of and provided for? So that's really what I'm working on now, man.
That's a great answer. And I've noticed in Tyler, he's completely, put the pedal to the floor, grinding every day, putting in the work. He's sick. He's still here doing the podcast. We're doing photo shoots, all this stuff. Our schedules are extremely busy right now, and he, it's not going to stop. 2022 is our year.
100%.
So that answer plays perfectly into the next question, actually. And I'll wait just a second. Okay, so The second question is going to be, how do you stay so motivated? How do you stay driven with everything going on in your life right now?
So motivation is not going to do it. Motivation is weak. What you have to do is you have to create habits that will continue to push you forward, daily habits that will continue to push you forward on the days that you are not motivated, because it is impossible to be motivated 365 days a year. Now, you can still be motivated, and I'll tell you how I get myself motivated. How I get myself motivated is I look at the life that I'm living right now, and then I look at the life, or I visualize the life that I want to live down the road. I visualize the life I wish I had right now. So I look at the things I have, and this is not like, I'm still grateful for the things I have. This is not like a woe is me or a victim or like, fuck my life or anything like that. I'm very grateful for where I am right now, but I also know that I want better things in my life. I want more things in my life. I want better relationships. It's not only money. Like, I want better relationships with my son. I want to be married someday. I want to have a great family life. I want to have love in my house. I want to, and I also do want monetary things as well. I do want to fucking fly in a private jet and have my own private jet. I do want to have fucking multiple Airbnbs all around the world, right? I do want to have a fucking Lambo. These are all things that I want, right? So I use those things as my motivation. And it's okay to want fucking monetary things. Like, it's all right. The other shit's going to come down the road. If you're young and the only thing that can get you going right now is that you want to have a fucking Lambo someday, then focus on the fucking Lambo. It doesn't matter. That's not going to be your end goal by the time you get the fucking Lambo. I guarantee it. It's going to change. Life changes. Life happens. We grow up. Our priorities change. Whatever. So whatever you can use to keep yourself motivated and get yourself motivated. And for me, it's just, I'm limitless, man. I have no limits. I can do anything. And so for somebody that can do anything and has no limits, which you are too, right? If somebody else can do it, you can do it too. So if you are limitless and I am limitless, and I look at my life as a limitless individual, what should my life look like if I'm limitless? What should your life look like if you are limitless and you can have anything that you want in your life? You can be anybody that you want to be, because you can be. It's your choice, right? So I look at that and I say, okay, this is my dream life. This is what I want down the road, and I'm going to fucking get there because I can get there, but it just doesn't fall in your lap. Excuse me, guys. It doesn't just fall in your lap. You have to take steps to get there. And that's my motivation. That's my drive. I don't ever stop, because this shit, I'm going there no matter what. So I would say you have to find that fucking fire and that passion for something. You have to find that fire and that passion for something that you want in your life, that you love, that you care about, that you will do anything to get, and use that as your motivation. But again, motivation is also fucking fleeting. Motivation does not stay. Like today, I'm not fucking motivated. I'm not motivated today. I'm doing this shit today because of the habits that I've created. If it was all up to motivation today, I would be in bed right now because I feel like shit. So what you do is once you have that motivation, you say, okay, I'm super motivated. I want this fucking Lambo, right? Let's just use that as an example. I want a Lambo. I want to drive a Lambo. I'm super motivated. I'll do whatever I can to drive a Lambo. So you have to figure out, what are the steps that I take to get a Lambo? You have to see the Lambo. You have to believe that you can have the Lambo. You have to believe you're good enough to have the Lambo. But then what are the steps that I take to get the Lambo? Not only what are the steps that I take to get the Lambo, but what are the steps that I take personally to turn myself into the person that drives a Lambo? Like, what is the guy driving the Lambo doing differently than I am? That's what you got to figure out. And then you got to take the steps in between there to get to that point. And as you do those steps, you will create daily habits. So there will be things every single day in your life that you do no matter what, right? And those are the daily habits that will push you forward on the days that you're not motivated.
Solid answer. And exactly, what I was looking for, definitely not always motivated to do the things. It's about making those habits, being consistent, and like you said, keeping your eye on the prize. So for the third question, And he kind of touched on this a little bit in the first one, and I wasn't really expecting that. But the third question is going to be, what's the biggest goal you have to help your son grow this year?
Man, that's a really good question. It's something biggest goal I have to help myself grow this year. So I just try to be the best version of myself every day and the best father that I can be every day. I guess I don't really set goals for him, or I never really have, or goals for me with him, which I probably should. It's probably not a bad idea. I would say, honestly, the biggest goal for me with my son this year, are you talking like for his personal growth, or just in like for...
I would kind of gear it towards his personal growth to help him as a person.
Here's what I'll say. So with me being as busy as I am, and especially with 2022, me having my foot down every day, all gas, no brakes, on my shit, motivated. My biggest thing for this year, because I'm going to get my shit done and I'm going to win. This is my fucking year. This is Dads Who Lifts year. This is Dads Who Lifts Apparel year. My goal's 8 figures this year, and I'm going to fucking do it. I'm starting my coaching. Everything that I've been talking about doing for the past year is actually getting done, and there's actually hard fucking set dates for this shit to launch off within the next month. And so it's all coming to fruition. Everything I've been working on the last 2-3 years is finally coming to fruition this year. And that takes a lot of my time. So what I would say is, for me, my biggest thing this year is just making sure that he feels loved, which comes down to, and he feels important, which comes down to balance for me. That means, like I said in the first topic, or the first question, that I'm going to have to be that much better and cognizant of balancing my life, which I've become very good at because I've raised him myself since he was 2 years old and he's 11. So for 9 years, I've raised him completely by myself and started multiple companies and ran multiple companies in that period of time. So I've got 9-10 years of experience with this already. It definitely doesn't happen overnight. One of the biggest things for me that help is prioritizing the things that I need to do every day. And one of the biggest things for me that help as far as balance goes in my work-life relationship and my family relationship is having a winner's list. And my winner's list is 6 things that you have to do every day, no matter what. And it's not shit like brushing your teeth. It's not things like taking the trash out. It's not things like doing laundry. That's shit that you do regardless. This is stuff that's going to push you forward. And it doesn't have to be anything that takes a fuckload of time. Like, sending an email to the design guy that's going to design my new shirt. Like, that's a big step that's going to push my apparel line forward. The whole goal is, what can I do today to push me a little bit closer? Like, not a lot closer, because it doesn't happen like that. It's consistency. The point is, what can I do today to push me a little bit closer to where I want to go, to where I want to be, right? And so sending that email might take 5 minutes, but it's something that's crucial and beneficial and pushing me towards my goals. So I try to do 6 things. I call it a winner's list. I try to do 6 things every day that are going to turn me into a winner, that push me forward. And on days where my son might need more time or my family might need more time, excuse me, guys, if I am able to get those 6 things done, then I'm good. I'm a winner. I'm okay with that. As long as I got the 6 things done that I need to get done that push me forward and help me grow towards being a better person, the man I want to become, and the things that I want in my future, I'm okay. So if I get my 6 things done by noon and my kid's out of school at noon that day, I can go spend the rest of the day with him. Now, every day is not going to be like that. There's give and take. It's balance. So some days there's going to be days where I got to piss him off and he doesn't get to ride his dirt bike and I got to run to a photo shoot, right? But then there might be another day where I pull him out of school for 4 days and we go snowboarding in Colorado, So it's all about balance. But the biggest thing for me with my son this year is just going to be that he feels important. He feels loved. I don't want him to ever feel like my work or what I'm doing is more important than him and the family, because it's not, ever. We're fortunate enough to where we don't have to choose between being successful or being a good parent, right? We don't have to do that. But if I had to choose, I'd choose being a good parent, 100% all day long. But we don't have to choose that. You can do both. You can have both. I am both. You can be both.
Solid answer. And I'd agree with you 100%. Having a good family life is definitely more important than having all the money in the world. They say money doesn't buy happiness, although it makes it a little easier.
Right.
But yeah, 100%.
I've always said, man, I'd rather live in a box and have a healthy, happy family, which it's a saying. If you live in a box, you're probably not going to have a healthy, happy family. But I'd rather live in a shithole and have a healthy, happy family than live in a mansion and be a fucking douchebag and a dick and everybody hates me. My son hates me. My kids hate me. My wife hates me, or I'm single. I don't have a wife, like whatever. I'm not going to focus solely on monetary things. But that's why it's so important to have that balance, because we can have both. And as long as we're focusing on things that are going to push us forward, so many people stay busy. But staying busy is not the ticket. That's not how you win. That's why I call it a winner's list. If you stay busy, that's not shit. Like, people stay busy and think that they had a productive day. I can stay busy with my thumb up my ass. I can stay busy fucking reading books all day, like all day long. All I did was read books. I was busy, right? I can stay busy being unproductive. I can stay busy driving to multiple accounts. Like, I could sit out there today and say, okay, I'm going to drive every single one of my accounts before it snows here. That'd be a busy day. That's a lot of fucking accounts. I don't even think I could drive them all in a day. But it's not productive. That doesn't push me forward to my goals and where I want to be. It's not about being busy. It's about being productive. It's about being cognizant of where you're putting your energy and making sure that that energy is getting you to be the man that you want to be or the person that you want to be, and pushing you towards the goals that you want to have and the life that you want to live. That's what it's about. So I feel like this has been good, man. We'll have to do this again. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. Throw this in the mix.
Absolutely.
Questions. They weren't easy. I warned you.
No, that was good, though. I liked it. So hopefully you guys got something out of this. Thanks for tuning in. Again, we want to spread this thing organically. We don't want to do any paid ads. So please give us a like, share, 5-star review. If we added any value to you, just please share it. Share the podcast on IG, share the snippet, tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing. So again, we have a apparel line new launch February 1st. You can catch all of our apparel right now that we have on www.dads2liftofficial.com. We're on IG as Dads Who Lift Apparel. Facebook is Dads Who Lift Podcast. And we also have a Facebook group. Again, this is a group on Facebook of 53,000 like-minded dads trying to be the best selves and stay fit at the same time. If that's something that interests you, check that group out, Dads Who Lift Official on Facebook. Thanks, guys. Make it a great day.
They told me that, like, when I get cocky, ain't it funny how they think they can stop me? Try to be me, but I'm so sorry you not me. Try to be me.